they are going to have to wait a little bit longer to get on the road, get on the sea. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy, and today we're going to be talking about how Virgin Voyages are actually really prepared for cruising after the Covid-19 crisis. But before we get into it, please press like and subscribe for some more cruise ship content. But as for now, let's get into the video. So as I think we're all aware at this point, you know, Covid-19 has hit the cruising industry really hard, and it's very unlikely that cruising will ever be exactly the same again. So, you know, the cruise lines are going to have to adapt majorly. But, you know, the thing with disasters is, as awful as they are, they do give us all a bit of a shake-up and an opportunity to improve the things that we've been doing that may not have been so great. And, you know, that's exactly what this will do. You know, the cruise lines are going to have to improve various things that they've been doing for years, but maybe just not as much or as good as they should have been. So I think we can definitely see some positive changes from, you know, this pandemic, definitely. Virgin Voyages was supposed to launch Scarlet Lady in April, and I joined the Scarlet Lady late January, and I was there till March the 19th, which is when I flew home due to the COVID-19 crisis. Now, being there for 2 months, give or take, I obviously got to know the procedures on board and the layout of the ship really well. And now coming home and having time to reflect on the procedures and the layout and various other things, it's made me realise that actually Virgin Voyages are ahead of the game. Because now listening to what other cruise lines are going to have to start to implement, you know, they're things that Virgin Voyages were already doing. So I was like, you know what, this is amazing. So today we're going to go through some of the things that Virgin Voyages were already doing before the pandemic that other cruise lines are now going to have to implement. The first thing is cabins. So the Scarlet Lady has been built, so it is mostly outside cabins, balcony cabins. I think they've built about 14 passenger inside cabins, which is nothing. And the thing is, after this pandemic, we are definitely going to see a decline in people booking inside cabins. Everyone is going to want a balcony cabin. The reason for this is, obviously, in an inside cabin, you are just going to be getting recycled air through the ship's system, whereas if you have a balcony cabin, you can open the door and also get fresh air in there, and it circulates a lot better, which lowers the risk of catching anything. So while there's going to be a lot of ships that have a lot of inside cabins out of use, or they're going to have to, you know, dramatically drop the price of their inside cabins, Virgin Voyages are kind of ahead of the game because, you know, they've really only got balcony cabins. The second thing that we are going to see a huge change in is the self-service buffet. So on, I mean, probably 90% of cruise ships, there is a self-service buffet, and, you know, it's actually something that a lot of people go on the cruise ship for if the buffet is great. So, but that is going to have to drastically change, and it's no longer going to be self-service. There will be someone serving you. So a lot of cruise lines are going to have to put up like the glass screens, have the food behind the glass screens, and then you ask the person behind the counter to serve you whatever you want. Now, Virgin Voyages are already doing this. Instead of having the buffet on board, they have got something called the galley, which is basically like a food court. So you can have sushi, noodles, pizza, whatever you want. You go up to the station and they will make it for you. But it's not self-service, so you don't touch anything. And this drastically lowers the chance of cross-contamination. So it's a lot more hygienic, and also it does reduce food waste, which is probably the main reason why they did it in the first place, to reduce food waste. But obviously another benefit is lowering the chance of cross-contamination. The third thing is there will be no physical receipts on board. So basically all the crew members have like a little device that acts like a till. So if you buy something in the shops or you have a spa treatment, then instead of getting a physical receipt, the receipt will be emailed to you. Now, initially this was to cut down on paper waste, you know, good for the environment and all, but obviously this is just another way that we can reduce cross-contamination by less people kind of passing things to each other. So no physical receipts is a big one, because obviously we all like to treat ourselves on board. We all get a receipt, but not on Virgin Voyages. You will get one emailed to you. The fourth thing is, on cruise lines, we will be seeing an up in the amount of automatic doors there are. Obviously, automatic doors, you don't need to touch them, so this reduces the risk of cross-contamination. And Virgin Voyages, apart from the cabin door, all the doors are automatic, so, you know, that's another thing. Some ports are not going to open for a while. Obviously, every country has its own priorities, its own restrictions. So, you know, each port, each country is kind of going to open up its gates at different times. Now, I mean, the European season has, unfortunately, you know, it's not going to happen, basically. Anyway, so the Scarlet Lady is supposed to go from Miami to Bimini, Fort Lauderdale and Cozumel. So basically, because it has a short itinerary, it's not going any great distance. Hopefully those ports are going to be open sooner rather than later, and everything can kind of get underway. Whereas the cruise lines that were planning to kind of travel long distance, they are going to have to wait a little bit longer to get on the road, get on the sea. And the last thing that we're going to be seeing is age restrictions or even bans on people over like 70, 75. The reason for this is they're more likely to need medical care when on board. We will also see restrictions on children cruising. Now, the reason that Virgin Voyages are ahead is because they are adults only anyway, so children would not be allowed on their ships. And with the 70, 80-year-olds, although they are more than welcome to cruise on Virgin Voyages, they're not exactly Virgin's target audience, you know. Virgin have targeted the Scarlet Lady and their voyages at people, you know, that are around like 30, 40, 50. Whereas, you know, as much as 70 and 80-year-olds are welcome, I don't know if it would be their cup of tea. But you know what, I could be completely wrong. But anyway, so the reason that Virgin Voyages are ahead is because their target audience aren't going to be affected as much by these restrictions. Okay guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. I am super excited to get back working for Virgin Voyages, and I really hope to see you on board. But please let me know if this video has been helpful or if you've enjoyed it in the comments. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.